Growing up as a little boy, we were told every day that we were the leaders of tomorrow. Good roads, stable power supply, good education, job opportunities, political inclusion, better healthcare, reduction of the cost of living were some of the things we were promised in tomorrow. We were so excited about the hope we had been fed with about tomorrow. But days went by, years went by, and tomorrow never came. Turned out there was never really a plan for tomorrow. It was all a lie to keep us in their mental slavery. Because with each day that goes by, I see my country being stripped of her glory. But we know better now. We are more aware now. It is time to take our country back from these hijackers who keep recycling themselves. If this tomorrow must come, we will have to create it ourselves. But this time, with someone we can trust. Someone who understands our pain. And so I call on every Nigerian youth. Come 2023, come out and vote. Because our vote is our power. When you vote, vote for a man we can trust. Vote for a breath of fresh air. Vote Atiku for president. Growing up as a little boy. Growing up as a little boy, we were told every day that we were the leaders of tomorrow. Good roads, stable power supply, good education, job opportunities, political inclusion, better health care, reduction of the cost of living were some of the things we were promised in tomorrow. We were so excited about the hope we had been fed with about tomorrow. But days went by, years went by, and tomorrow never came. Turned out there was never really a plan for tomorrow. It was all a lie to keep us in their mental slavery. Because with each day that goes by, I see my country being stripped of her glory. But we know better now. We are more aware now. It is time to take our country back from these hijackers who keep recycling themselves. If this tomorrow must come, we will have to create it ourselves. But this time with someone we can trust. Someone who understands our pain. And so I call on every Nigerian youth. Come 2023, come out and vote. Because our vote is our power. When you vote, vote for a man we can trust. Vote for a breath of fresh air. Vote Atiku Abubakar for president.
Dear Atiku supporters, by now you must have registered as Atiku volunteers under the Atiku Support Management System. Now some of you will be selected as Atiku agents in your respective polling units. So this is a call for you to become the Atiku agent in your unit. Here are some functions, criteria, and procedures to become Atiku agents. The Atiku agents are responsible for uniting the volunteers at their polling units. On the agent portal, agents can access and download the contacts of the Atiku volunteers under their polling units so that they can contact them for local organizing. As an agent, you are responsible for organizing regular meetings with your volunteers and strategizing how to ensure Atiku wins your polling unit. You are also responsible for submitting election results with an attached copy of the signed result sheet and reporting incidents. You are to use your portal to submit election results electronically. In the agent portal, under incidents, you should report records or evidence of your meetings and campaign activities at your unit. Using your portal, you should upload details of the voters you and your volunteers canvass daily. You are also responsible for identifying and working in harmony with other existing campaign structures from the political party and other volunteer groups at your polling unit. By requesting to be an Atiku agent, you agreed to voluntarily perform your duties and work for the emergence of His Excellency Atiku Abubakar as the President of Nigeria. To become an Atiku agent under the Atiku Support Management System, you must first register as a volunteer at your polling unit. If you have not done that yet, you can do that via the link shown here. Once you become a volunteer at your polling unit, you can then request to be the agent of your polling unit by filling out this agent request form. The agent registration link will only be sent to the selected agents. Now go ahead and request to be an agent under the Atiku Support Management System. We look forward to receiving your request and to work with you as Atiku agents in your units. Thank you so much and bye for now.
Asuu strike, Nans to shut down Harcourt Airport. The National Association of Nigerian Students, Nans South Zone, has threatened to block the Harcourt International Airport, the Calabar-Itu Highway, and shut down critical infrastructures in the zone. This is in reaction to the ongoing strike action by the Academic Staff Union of Universities. The South Coordinator, Nans Zone B, Kings, Tamara Priye, disclosed this over the weekend during a press conference in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State Capital. Controversy as APC makes blunder in list of campaign council. The All Progressives Congress APC has listed the PDP chieftain Chimaroke Nnamani and the list of their campaign council released over the weekend. The list also left out the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and former Secretary to the government Babachi Lawal. Both Osinbajo and Lawal are Nigerian Christians, but a statement released by the party said the decision was based on Buhari's request. Abia PDP declares support for Atiku Abubakar. The leadership of the People's Democratic Party in Abia State has declared that it is behind the party's presidential candidate in the forthcoming 2023 general elections, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. The latest declaration by the Abia PDP comes on the heels of the recent withdrawal by some party chieftains as members of the Atiku Abubakar campaign organization. Don't vote killers in 2023, Jonathan. Former President Goodluck Jonathan has advised Nigerians not to vote for some people he described as careless during the 2023 election. Jonathan was speaking in Uyo during a special interdenominational service to celebrate the 35th anniversary of the creation of Akwa Ibom State, said it would be a grave mistake to vote them in the election. Tinubu pushing to divide Nigerian Christians with his desperation, Babachi Lawal. APC chieftain and former secretary to the government of the Federation, Babachi Lawal, has attacked the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, for using his desperation to divide the church. Lawal declared that in his desperation to justify the deliberate relegation of Christianity to the background in the scheme of the political leadership of the country, the APC presidential candidate has now gone extra miles to recruit fake Christian groups to divide the church. The former SGF spoke in a statement he personally signed and made available to journalists in Bauchi through his media team.
Dear Atiku supporters, by now you must have registered as Atiku volunteers under the Atiku support management system. Now some of you will be selected as Atiku agents in your respective polling units. So this is a call for you to become the Atiku agent in your units. Here are some functions, criteria and procedures to become Atiku agents. The Atiku agents are responsible for uniting the volunteers at their polling units. On the agent portal, agents can access and download the contacts of the Atiku volunteers under their polling units so that they can contact them for local organizing. As an agent, you are responsible for organizing regular meetings with your volunteers and strategizing how to ensure Atiku wins your polling unit. You are also responsible for submitting election results with an attached copy of the signed result sheet and reporting incidents. You are to use your portal to submit election results electronically. In the agent portal, under incidents, you should report records or evidence of your meetings and campaign activities at your unit. Using your portal, you should upload details of the voters you and your volunteers canvass daily. You are also responsible for identifying and working in harmony with other existing campaign structures from the political party and other volunteer groups at your polling units. By requesting to be an Atiku agent, you agreed to voluntarily perform your duties and work for the emergence of His Excellency Atiku Abubakar as the President of Nigeria. To become an Atiku agent under the Atiku support management system, you must first register as a volunteer at your polling unit. If you have not done that yet, you can do that via the link shown here. Once you become a volunteer at your polling unit, you can then request to be the agent of your polling unit by filling out this agent request form. The agent registration link will only be sent to the selected agents. Now go ahead and request to be an agent under the Atiku support management system. We look forward to receiving your request and to work with you as Atiku agents in your unit. Thank you so much and bye for now.
His Excellency, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the
Atiku Abubakar, unifier, it's time for us to bridge gaps. It is time for us to speak as one.
Our candidate is the unifier. He will unify Nigeria.
It is doable, it is achievable, we can do it, we have the capacity to do it, we have done it before. So it is time for us to return PDP back to power. I thank you very much. God bless you all. PDP! PDP!
As one, we can get it done.
Well, we really apologize for that little technical glitch there, and we're still on the news.
Yeah, so we were talking about Nans,
exactly.
shutting down the Port Harcourt International Airport and the Calabar Itu Highway after they had shut down the Murtala Mohammed Airport and with Kaduna Abuja route. So I was asking how many more airports, how many more roads have to be shut down before the federal government takes notice?
IJ, we actually need to point out the insensitivity of this government. The chunk, this is not just a population of 20 people trying to call your attention. We have over millions of students are back home. Their parents actually are not earning anything to actually take them back to school at this moment. There is nothing happening in the country. We have governance on holiday, and we have the Minister of Education who is just loafing around, thinking that this government, after the next one, will bring back this inept and insensitive government in 2023. I think this is actually a trend that we should encourage in the whole statistics of the Federation. Students have to come out at every terminal. They should just block it off.
I mean, it's
probably maybe when the government houses are no longer functional, maybe then the state government will rise to the
I think it's interesting that what you said about these students not just being 20 and they're making up millions, up to millions, and you're looking at it that these students are a major part of the electorate. They make up a major part of the electorate. They're the ones who are going to go out in 2023 to vote. So it seems like for a government who is hoping to be re-elected, a party that is hoping to be re-elected, and the APC-led government that is hoping to be re-elected in 2023, they seem not to be taking this seriously. I mean, like you mentioned, these students have also threatened to shut down political rallies. And I mean, you're looking at it and you're wondering why nothing has been done, why this has been allowed to continue.
You should actually understand the trend about this government. If nothing affects their daily income, their daily activities, from where it actually hurts them most, because nobody goes by road anymore amongst these government officials. They all fly, private jet fly whenever they choose to. Now, the terminals are going to be shut down. I hope that the Minister of Education and Labour will come up
but the students are trying to make sure. So just in case you're planning to travel by road, they're also going to shut that as well.
Exactly. And I like the coordination of this. Nans is trying to stand on one thing and be firm about it, because we used to have a Nans, which are like a rubber stamp, what we have at the National Assembly. They agree to whatever the executive says. But now this is hurting, and they are not backing down. But I actually want to encourage other students who are actually sitting back and looking at what Nans is doing and seeing where it's going to move to next, to actually stand up, join the Nans on their protest, and let's see, maybe this government will wake up to their responsibilities.
And let's quickly move to APC, the ruling party, and the campaign list that was released for the Tinubu Shettima campaign over the weekend. And I saw some errors. I saw a person's name who was repeated twice. There was also the fact that they don't have a coordinator for Taraba State. And I mean, such a big party, you would think that would be a given. But of course, we know that there are crises in Taraba within the APC, and they don't have, I don't think they have a governorship candidate yet. But I think one of the biggest blunders that we saw was the inclusion of the name of a 7th senator, a member of the PDP, Senator Chimarike Nnamani, on that list.
Well, for me, the biggest blunder Nigerians made was to bring APC in 2015, because it brought an administration that is not prepared, not coordinated, not organized, does not even understand what the people want. So what do you expect? Their campaign list is going to be actually be in shambles, and you'll see more of this. This is just like a trend of what actually is existing currently with the APC ruling party. And you can look at what has happened. You are taking the name of another party member to represent in your campaign council. So, and now excuses. These are what APC has been doing for the past 7.5 years.
The campaign, the spokesperson, the National Publicity Secretary, Felix Moka, yes, said that their excuse was that Asuwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu has people who believe in him across party lines. I don't know whether they're insinuating that a 7th senator in a party is going to campaign or is going to constitute the part of their own campaign for another party, and he was saying that because they have funds, that's why it has funds across party lines, and it's not just restricted to the parties, that the person does not have to be a member of the party. I mean, these are very, very weak excuses to for an error, an obvious error that was made. I mean, what we saw is that the name that was intended was Senator Kenan Nnamani. Yeah, so this is a weak excuse. Really.
This is actually a pattern, a consistency of dissent. See, look at what happens at the presidency. Gabashew is saying something separately. Femi Adesina is saying something other. The presidency now comes to tell you that ignore all that. This is the real news. So you will see the same pattern play out in their party. So you don't expect anything less from. No, but you're going to see a trend of we having to actually APC denying and coming back again to present another story to back it up. No,
but for me, it's more of a government, a party that makes errors and does not know or does not understand the importance of owning its errors. It's not transparent or honest enough to acknowledge its errors and move on. I mean, you've made this error. It is enough to say this was an error and the name intended was Senator Kenan Nnamani. It would have been as simple as that. Coming up with this excuse, it was a very, very weak attempt. I mean, we saw that when the vice presidential candidates for the party made a fashion faux and wore the outfit, and it was an error, and he should have acknowledged this was an error, and again he came up with a weak excuse. So like you said, this seems to be a trend among the party, and what we should be asking, what we should be focusing on is these sort of errors for a party that in constituting its campaign council has included the name erroneously of a member of another party, and you wonder what else is this the kind of error we want to go in with into 2023 and beyond. I mean, we've had them when they were making up the list for the ministers, including the names of dead people. So you wonder, this is not a first.
Sorry to cut you short. You seem not to want to mention the name of the senator who has been included. Senator Chimaroke Naman is an honorable member
of the PDP, and he is a member of the PDP Presidential Campaign Council.
So look at what actually is happening with the APC. You don't have Oshibajo, you don't have...
yeah, let's quickly look at that.
That tells you a lot about what is going on. The infighting and the unforgiveness of Bola Ahmed Tinubu is obvious at this time. He does not forgive. It's a statement that he has made. And he feels that he has put Oshibajo as the vice president of this country, and he has all the toga, all the entitlement to actually take upon this honorable man, Vice President Oshibajo. You're not including him in your campaign council. It's obvious that infighting has actually gotten to another level entirely, because if you're not going to include a sitting vice president in your campaign council, then I wonder what your campaign council is
I mean, to link this up with the story about Babachi Lawal, the former secretary to the government of the Federation, who said that Tinubu's desperation, Tinubu's desperation to become president, and, up to the extent that he's going to recruit fake Christian groups is a problem for the Christian community. And, I mean, we've had the ABC said that this is not the time to look at along religious lines. And if it's not the time, then why do we have issues such as this? Why are you recruiting fake Christian groups, bishops? Why are we seeing this happen? And then yesterday, in an interview, the spokesperson, Festus Keyamo, said that the job of pastors is to lead people to heaven and not to Asuu Villa. And then you look at it in the view, or looking at it from the perspective that we have a vice president who is a pastor. And you wonder if this is not a slap on the faces of Christians.
IJ, you're talking about a person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu who has not even denied the allegations of him shopping for his certificates, shopping for his identity, shopping for his state of origin. You cannot just take it away from this man. He's not straightforward. And if he's not straightforward, what is he presenting to Nigerians as his plan? He's going to present a plan full of deserts, a plan that is actually selfish enough that not to include Nigerians into his plan. So I'm looking at him not including Oshibajo as one of his plans to actually hoodwink the APC and those that are intellectuals amongst the APC, because he knows the capacity of an Oshibajo. So looking at it from this perspective, Tinubu has already figured it out. And the only way he's going to figure this out is actually shop his way through the electoral process. And I pray that INEC remains independent at this time. And I pray the electorate don't actually waver and start listening to his tokenism mantra, because that's all he knows. So don't actually think that Tinubu will shift away from what he knows to what you think is normal from the electoral process.
I mean, the insinuations among the APC members that there are crises in the PDP is laughable. I mean, the face of obvious crisis like this, PDP is going through an internal structure crisis that does not even affect the candidacy or does not have anything to do with the candidacy of the...
Don't say that. We are not. APDP is not in any internal crisis. What we have are people who actually aggrieved about the decisions in the party.
And this does not have anything to do with the candidate. And then we see all of it. When you come to APC, you see a fundamental breakdown. You're seeing that people within the party are not happy with the candidate and his choices. And these are choices that are within the candidate's power, within his purview to correct. And you wonder why nothing has been done. I mean, not including the vice president and the former speaker, Dogara, and not including Babache Lawal. These are people that have been very, very vocal and have voiced their displeasure over the Muslim ticket. And you think this is a reason why their names were not included?
Well, the excuse, they should always shop for excuses. APC is full of excuses. The next excuse they just shopped for is that the order came from the president.
Yes, that's it.
And this is a president who has not even been aware that actually there's a state that is existing. Everything that you ask the president, you ask President Buhari, he tells you he's not aware. So now, who gave the orders? Was it the party chairman, or was the party chairman shopping for excuse from the president? Because we are aware that the president was not even around. He was in New York for the UN meeting. So you're looking at a situation whereby the inconsistency, the incoherency in
why would a president who was not interested in the primaries, who showed no obvious interest in the election of the party chairman or in the presidential primaries, why would he be interested in the constitution of the campaign council?
Probably he's more interested in inserting his stooge into the electoral process, like he has been doing with the INEC, submitting nominations of APC members into the for the INEC appointments. But well, let's look at what's going on elsewhere. Let's leave it the APC at this time, because we cannot feed Nigerians with all the inconsistency, all the inept decisions that have been going on, all the lies that they have been painting in the face of Nigerians. Let's move to actually something that can actually give us much more respite.
Let's look at Abia State, and the party, PDP party members in Abia State restating their support for the presidential candidate.
Well, that's the only beautiful bride right now in Nigeria that Nigerians want to bring on board. If you look at the candidacy of Atiku Abubakar, look at what he did. Went to pick a gentle, loyal, and noble man in the person of Ifeanyi Okowa. And to tell you the truth, PDP is already prepared, and they're ready to kick this administration out of government, because Nigerians are already tired of whatever is called A or P or C at this time, because Nigerians are not even keen on listening to them. The only person they're keen on listening to now is the plan, who has a 5 agenda for Nigerians. And you look at how his agenda has been structured around insecurity, around provision of jobs, around making sure the devolution of resources to the regions, and which is actually what Nigerians have been clamoring for. You cannot take it away from Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. He's a man who has actually gone over 20 years now, has instituted his school. They have not gone on strike. I think students will actually be clamoring for him to come back and do what is best for the Nigerians and know what is best for just an individual.
I mean, it's this coming against the backdrop of members of the party withdrawing their support for, withdrawing from the campaign council. And it seems like for every one person that leaves, there are 3,000 more, restating their support. This is a very important milestone. It's showing that Abia State is coming to say that we are fully for the candidate. And I think what we'll see is more people showing their support at a time like this for the candidate. It seems like people believe in his candidacy and that he is the answer to some of the problems that we are facing in Nigeria right now.
I think people don't understand when they call Atiku the unifier. Look at the trend of this whole situation that has been going on with the PDP. Oyo, Ekiti, Asuu, even Rivers State, they have all come out. Even the Wike himself has said, I'm going to support Atiku. I'm not leaving the party. Give it to PDP. PDP has his own internal mechanism of conflict resolution. You cannot just take it away from the party. Everybody is carried along. The inclusivity is actually very, very glaring, unlike what you have in other parties, where whatever the argument is, whatever the grievances are,
it will be sorted out.
They have a way of ironing it out along party mechanism. And let me not lie to you, the reason why this is going on is because everything must go through the due process.
Yes. Oh, okay. So let's look at former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, and he said that Nigerians should not vote for killers in 2023. I mean, this is, we don't know who specifically he's referring to, but I mean, who are the killers? We have a government that has killed the economy, killed education, killed agriculture. I mean, the APC government must be the killers because they seem to have killed the dreams of the average Nigerian, the aspiring young man. So, I mean, it's not too hard to decipher who the killer is or who he was referring to, with this statement. What do you think?
IJ, looking at the statistics of the Federation, is there anywhere you don't have pockets or enlarged insecurity? Is there anywhere in the country that people are not complaining of hunger? Are you looking at the situation of inflation that has cropped up from 19 to 20.45? Are you looking at all our military bases which have been attacked by insurgents everywhere? We have over 750 soldiers who have died over this insurgent issue. Even the brigade guard of the president was attacked over recent. So
the the convoy of the senator was attacked.
That's Senator Ifeanyi Uba, and the man is still mourning because these are key members of his working force. So you're looking at a situation whereby I've told you several times that we have a government who is actually on holiday. They have gone on vacation since the earlier part of this year. Even not just earlier part of this year, since 2015, all we have is actually cropping in the achievements of the Goodluck Jonathan administration, and they keep showing it to the Nigerians that this is what we have done. Not giving honor to who honor is due to is actually a trend of this administration. And looking at the story you just picked up, what's happening in the APC is what you just have to ask yourself. What's happening in Nigeria is what many people are asking from outside the country, because we are totally on shutdown. Law and order is actually on breakdown. So what we are looking at, let's just start looking at the new administration, because this administration is not for the people, but just for themselves.
I mean, this government seems to have killed every sector, and for a candidate from the same ruling party who has said that he's going to continue where the last administration has stopped, it only shows that it's a further, this is decimation of Nigeria as we know it. If we want to move forward with this party, if Nigerians vote for this party, then it is apparent that they are voting for the destruction of Nigeria. And that's not what we want. I think we want a Nigeria that's going to move forward. That's why we're on a mission to rescue Nigeria. We need to rescue Nigeria, and we have to do it collectively with the efforts of everybody. But let's hold on to that. We'll go on a very quick break now. And when we return, we'll be looking at the foreign and sports news with Michael.
His Excellency Alhaji Atiku
It's time for us to bridge gaps. It is time for us to speak as one.
Our candidate is the unifier. He will unify Nigeria.
It is doable, it is achievable, we can do it, we have the capacity to do it, we have done it before. So it is time for us to return PDP back to power. I thank you very much. God bless you all. PDP! PDP!
As one, we can get it done.
One single Nigeria with multiple competencies. A man who is welcome in all the 36 states of the Federation. Oh yeah. Excellency, this is Lagos. Welcome home. Excellency, we have spoken to ourselves. And we decided to say, you know what? We care less whatever is happening anywhere. What is paramount to us is to deliver Nigeria at the same time Lagos is for the people of Africa. We appreciate you. We believe in you. We cherish you. From this date, there will be an upset in 2023. I have come to see for myself that PDP is on ground in Lagos. In all all my political career, I have never seen Lagos so mobilized.
As one, we can get it done.
Welcome back. If you're still watching this headline roundup, joining me is Michael.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is the forum saying, and what do you have for us?
We're starting with Italy. In Italy, they are rounding up their general elections, and projection seems to show that the far-right candidate, Giorgia Meloni's party, would actually clinch the office of Prime Minister or President.
How do you see Macron at this time? What's the perception about this election? Because looking at what's actually happening around Europe at this time, and looking at the Russia-Ukraine invasion, because which most people have actually spoken in France that actually should they be going into this war with other allies?
It's Italian. It's an Italian election. You know, the Italians are usually known to be a bit like far right. They don't really like immigrants coming in. They just want it to be more like a cultural thing. So I'm not surprised that the far right wing, although it's a woman, so you could say is a good inclusive. Yeah,
what I would say, I'm looking at a woman actually becoming the prime minister at this time in Italy. Yeah. I'm looking at it like it's a government that actually been going back to back with men.
What's his name?
Mussolini and co. And why I asked that question is because looking at other countries and looking at what has been going on, other countries will be looking at, will a woman be able to take up that mantle and take decisions as it will in looking at the Italian composition of its political.
She should. I mean, Liz Truss is also there as well. So I assume they'll be able to work hand in hand, although they are from opposite sides of the political spectrum. Liz Truss is more conservative, but not far right as this lady is in
Germany. We had a woman chancellor actually there, so probably she will take a cue from what actually is going on around the world and then put up a show for the Italians, though.
Yeah.
And more.
The next news we'll be talking about. We spoke about it last week. The protest in Iran about Amsa Amini, the 22-year-old that was killed. There's actually there's spike in protests around the world as well in different cities, as Athens, Berlin, Istanbul, New York, Paris as well. They are all in solidarity of the Iranian people and against the Iranian government. In the midst of it all, the Iranian government as well are somewhat protesting of theirs. They called a meeting, foreign meeting of the ambassadors of Norway and that of Britain. They protested that the British media outlets are giving them an unfair treatment in their tabloids, and the president of the Norwegian parliament, what's his name?
Looking at this issue and how it reflects back home, like I mentioned last week, I told you about how it was actually being treated in Kwara, Lagos, Ibadan. And looking at how actually far north, how people perceive such issues and how it begins to escalate from little issues to bigger issues. Is Nigeria prepared to actually mop up this if it goes into a kind of frenzy whereby people begin to sympathize with what is going on in Iran and looking at the Shiite issue, actually before you know it is escalated to a much security issues. And how a Nigerian government actually prepared for this?
At this point, we all have to stand with the Iranian people, and if we as Nigerians end up wanting to join in the protest, we assume the government won't be able to do anything. Just like the Asuu protests are also going on, people will also, it's a fundamental right to come out and protest. And if anything happens to those who come out to protest, the Nigerian government will be labeled just like the Iranian government as an anti-people and tyrannical.
Yeah, that's what I was pointing out, that because this same government, the Buhari-led administration, has actually been accused and alleged to have killed many of these Shiites.
It's not even alleged.
And even Dijadinaju has been seen at the forefront of supporting the Shiites, that they are also citizens of this country. You have to allow them to protest freely. But we all know how this protest manifests from being peaceful to becoming violent. And people have actually claimed that people, or the non-state actors actually hijack most of these protests and becomes really violent. And what do you have? The security operatives have to move in, either clear them forcefully or the other way around.
As long as those that come out to protest do not get violent, I see no reason why the government should get violent against. And if they do, like I said, they will be labeled just like the Iranian government as a tyrannical and anti-people government.
Yeah, we're going to a new week, and we hope the sports arena catches fire so that we can bring you more. And anyway, that's...
Yes, I have one sports news, actually.
Okay.
NFL going to Pepsi, the Super Bowl. Yeah, they took over with a bid of $50 million a year, and Rihanna would actually be their first performer next year. Yeah, she confirmed it on her Instagram. So
let's wait and see.
It's going to be fun.
Let's wait and see how the NFL translates into much better fun for the viewers.
Yeah.
Well, that's much we can take for today on Headline Roundup. Join us again tomorrow, same time. And don't forget to follow us on all our social media handles on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Yeah.
I remain Iko Kuchideze Kimber.
Have a wonderful week. I'm Michael.
Bye.
See, first and foremost, I love the fact that Atiku Abubakar is a father. Atiku Abubakar is an epitome of democracy. And because he's a man of purpose, a man of dream, and of a truth, he's really ready to take on the challenges as a responsible father and as a leader. Now, not just a leader, but a steward coming to salvage Nigeria, to rescue Nigeria from the ill-fated quagmire this present administration has brought Nigeria into, and that is the singular reason why I want him. And apart from that also, his fatherly nature made him to be an empathic person. He feels the pain of the all and sundry. I see in him a true Nigerian, not someone that plays regional politics. Yes, Atiku Abubakar is a bridge builder. Atiku Abubakar is a unifier in a true meaning. You see, I love him so much because he sees himself above a region of our northern extract. He sees himself as a true Nigerian. I am from Niger Delta. I was born in the north. And as God will have it, I've traversed far and wide this nation. And I come to realize that Atiku's time is now. Because everyone on the street is singing Atiku. In fact, Atiku is being preached in virtually every household as it stands right now. So his time is now. God has destined him, and no one is going to take it away from him.
As one, we can get it done.